Hey, welcome back. I have a new video, and this one here is going to be taking a look at the 35th anniversary stream that went on today. I'm going to start by saying that I don't really see how it was a 35th anniversary stream other than the first, 20 minutes, something like that, 15 to 20 minutes where they sort of talked about, the history of 40K and, some stuff. It was fine. it wasn't bad or anything, and I'm not saying that they didn't do anything 35th anniversary related, but of the 1 hour ish of stream, once they actually get started, I said only have about 15-20 minutes where they talk about the history. Really, after that, it's all just talking about new stuff. It's reveals. So I think it's just a case where I have different thoughts on what that should have been than Games Workshop, but I've not really stayed as one of their prime targeted customers over the years, as I've drifted away from their more modern offerings. So I am sure many people were quite happy with what came out, and not going to take away from that for them. So what we did get was information from these guys about what was happening. And then we started getting into the releases right off the bat. Big box set for Astra Militarum and a video showing off everything that was going to be coming out. A lot of stuff that was coming out. It's definitely not everything. There's more coming, for sure. But some of it, I think, was shown off here just to confirm maybe that it was happening or it was staying. I'm going to do a separate video maybe. We'll see how this goes, how much time this takes. I'd like to do this in one video if possible. So yeah, Astra Militarum. In fact, let's just do it right now. The Astra Militarum, what you get when you click on this is a box set. It's going to be their standard army box set. It's going to have a codex and not tokens, but transfers and all that stuff. And then you get this. These are really nice. Right off the bat, before I go any further, I'm going to say the sculpts are awesome. Games Workshop does really nice stuff. Whether or not I enjoy 40K, Age of Sigmar, whatever, it doesn't mean that I don't enjoy the models. They're excellent. And these new infantry are great. These giant heavy weapons are great. This command squad is great. And even this Sentinel, even though for some reason, I don't know, there's something about this shape that makes me think of PUBG and that guy that's always on the cover with the weird helmet. It's great. I mean, it's a really nice modernization of the Sentinel. So, nothing in here I'm going to complain about. I might complain about the number of models. I mean, it's a guard box. I think there should be more. I think there should be a tank in it, but yeah, I mean, they make the choices they make when it comes to the box contents, and I think most people at this point can agree that the boxes never have enough stuff in them to justify. But when you look at the Votan box, which was, I think, 500-ish points to 600, depending how you build it. I mean, unless these things are really highly costed, I don't see how this could be 600 points. 500 points seems like really stretching it for this. I mean, if this is 500 points a guard, I mean, that's kind of sad. Compared to, where we were a few years ago, what you could get for 500 points. So I guess it just comes down to how good this stuff is. Maybe it's totally reasonable to think this is on the same level as Votan as far as points go and power, but I really doubt it. Even with upgrades, I mean, you have to give a lot of upgrades to these guys to edge in on 100 points per squad. And like I said, let's just say it's 300 points for these 3 units, with relatively reasonable number of upgrades. If this stuff here is 200 more points, that's like I said, I'm not sure if I buy it. We'll see. Close-ups, I mean, they're great. If anybody says they're not great, then I don't know what their definition of great is. I love the old stuff, but I can definitely appreciate new stuff. This is all super nice. And yeah, I like it a lot. There's a lot to like here. Same with the command box. Just really crisp designs. They look really good. Lots of really cool bits in there for sure. And then these things here. This is the star of that box because it's like it's the new thing. It's not just like a reimagining. It's actually new. And these look so nice. This missile launcher. This is like a mini basilisk, is my understanding, or shaker. And then a heavy las cannon, which is probably like, I don't know, 12 strength, 1 AP or something. Or like 10 strength with 2 shots. I don't know how they'll do it, but the las cannon has felt a little underpowered the last couple of times I've played 9th edition compared to what it used to be. So a heavy las cannon is welcome. Be interesting to see how they fit that into the Space Marines. Because if this is something the Space Marines don't have, you know they're going to get it. Some sort of giant-ass tank covered in these things or something. And then the Sentinel, with a couple of build designs. You can either do, or build options. You can do the Armored or the Scout. The Scout's really nice. And again, it has a really good design. This is dumb. I don't care what they gave for a reason for this. This looks awful. Yeah, that's just, I don't know what that is. That's dumb. I cut that off mine. That's not going to be visible. That's ugly. I don't know what that, I don't care what the reasoning is. That's bad. And you get this guy. He's not in the box though, so you don't get him. I like him until the hat. The hat's too small. Or his head's too big or something, but like he's like a junior commissar, obviously, because he's got a junior hat. And he needs a bigger hat. But otherwise, great model. And here are the new weapon teams. I think they just showed these off again. They're not included, just to make sure we understood and realized and didn't have like a fit online. There still are heavy weapons as we know them. And they just are going to get an updated box. Like the new giant things are not replacing them. We're still going to have these models. They're just getting replaced with a new box. And they give some ideas on the rules. I'm not going to get into these right now, but it just looks like it's your standard 9th edition build, where you can pick your regiment from the few they offer, or you can build one with the how to build your own regiment doctrine rules they'll include. These are just a couple of examples that you can pause and read if you want, if you haven't seen them already. Go back page. Oops. Back too far. Here we go. Here's where we were. So yeah, guard. They showed off this one word bearer, or sorry, world eater guy. He is riding a juggernaut. And he's like a reimagining of a very old 2nd edition model, is what they were saying. I sort of see it, sort of don't see it, but to me it just looks like it's a Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine riding a juggernaut, and that's not bad. I mean, juggernauts are cool. Chaos Space Marines are cool. So it's a pretty good partnership. Then they talked about Arcs of Omen, which is some sort of new campaign, like the Psychic Awakening and stuff. Everyone sort of assumed 9th edition, as it wound down, was going to get a campaign series to bring us into 10th edition, and it would basically have not a lot of stuff. I think they said there were like no rules in here, and it was just lore. I mean, it's weird. It's good, because if that's true, if that's my understanding, it was correct, was the way they said it, then that just means there's a book of lore, and you don't have to like buy it for like 1 or 2 pages of rules that if you don't have it, you're screwing yourself. If you're a competitive player, or you just want to play fun games, but like have the fairest rules. I mean, some people will tell you that like, if you're playing a fun game, you shouldn't be worried about winning and losing, and you shouldn't be worried about how strong your book is, because your friends will, they'll self-regulate and they won't go too hard on you. And that might be true, it might not be true, but, think of it this way. If your friend has a book that he has all this stuff for, and you sit there and whine and cry that he shouldn't use it because it's not fair for you, it's also not fair for your friend. Your friend has models, your friend has rules, they want to use them. GW putting out shitty, unbalanced rules is not justification for other people not being allowed to play the army book and army rules and models that they paid for. They bought an experience that they then have to scale back, otherwise they're not having fun because the people around them aren't having fun. Back in 3rd edition, I bought Necrons. I did not buy Necrons because I thought these were going to be the best army out there. That they were going to break the game and that they were going to just basically be easy mode. Kind of how they turned out. A lot of people complained about playing Necrons with me. And I bought 3 or 4 boxes of Warriors. I bought a Monolith. I bought some Wraiths and some Flayed ones and whatever I bought. I had a good-sized army. And I was not a good player. Like, I do not ever say I'm a good player in 40k. Like, I can play. I understand the rules. I don't do too bad. But, like, I'm not going to tournaments and, like, coming away on top. That was never me. Every once in a while, I'd win a tournament, and it would be, like, just as much a shock to me. And I was taking these guys out, and they're just not that fun to play against, these Necrons I'm talking about back in 3rd. People complained and complained and complained, and I understand why they complained. You know, you could have fairly mediocre dice. And honestly, if your opponent was doing good and it was just a stereotypical, like, decent army, you having mediocre dice was still more than enough usually to just kind of ruin the fun for them. They'd knock down half a squad of warriors who then got up. And yes, I could have not taken certain items. I could have handicapped myself. But I also paid for this stuff. I wanted to use it. And I wasn't playing hard to win games. I was just playing the army I bought. I wanted robots that got back up because that's what I bought. I wanted these cool gauze weapons, but like there wasn't a way around playing this army. They didn't even have a lot of units. I mean, like you had like 1 troop choice. You had like 3 elites. A fast attack. You had a couple of heavy support. Like there wasn't a lot of stuff. Like I bought, you know, a fairly reasonable looking Necron army in 3rd edition, and within 6 months I put it in my closet and didn't use it for 3 years, 4 years. Possibly I didn't use it again until 5th edition. I mean, I don't know. I just remember I did not use them. I just went back to my guard, which were fairly weak at the time. And they were doing okay in 4th edition, but not great. And then by the time they got good in 5th edition, then my Necrons got good, and yeah, you know, like Dark Eldar got everything was getting good in 5th edition. So it was okay to play your stuff again. But like, and nobody was really bitching me out for it until, you know, I started playing with the newer Necron stuff, and then they were bitching out about that stuff again. So I don't know. I'm sort of on a tangent here, but basically, like these books here, when they come out, they're a ripoff because they don't give you a lot of rules, and if you don't get them, though, you're kind of like handicapping yourself or asking your friends to handicap themselves so you don't like get left behind in terms of power. And that's the whole rant just rolled into what I mean. Too long, didn't read. It's nice if they do put out books that have lore, but don't like force you to buy them for like 2 pages of rules. That if you don't get it, you're handicapping yourself, and then you have to turn around and hope your friends handicap themselves when they went and bought it and they got their, you know, 2 pages of rules. So sort of just how it is. I just feel like that's not too bad. They showed off boarding actions becoming like a thing in 40k and not just kill team and stuff. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't understand. You know, I'm sure there'll be special rules for how to use it, and the terrain's pretty neat, but a board meant to play this on, but it's 40k and not kill team. I don't know. A lot of people complain about how the game has grown and bloated over the years. Like, this just feels like this is what that is. This is so bloated. Like, I mean, why are you taking a whole army into a space that you should be playing a kill team match? how are you going to move tanks? How are you going to move flyers? And if those things are all being cut out, and it's going to be a limited roster of units that you can use, that's called kill team. Just include a kill team list somewhere in the codex. Like that's it. Like, don't sell me a codex that wants me to play kill team size games, but with limited options from my codex, instead of just giving me a list to play in kill team. Just put a kill team list in the 40k codexes. Even, you know what, make it a special one. Then you can like sucker in the kill team players to buy a codex for 40k, a game they don't even play. Like, I have 12 Groot for my Groot kill team, and you put a really good Groot list in with that Tau book, or even just a decent one. Like, okay, I guess I'll buy the new Tau book. Like, do that. Like, put one kill team list in there, and then say, look, now you can go run around a Space Hulk with your guard, and obviously you can't take a tank, and there's no Valkyries allowed, because why the fuck would there be a Valkyrie flying around inside this thing? At least in the corridors. Some of them are huge, obviously, like Space Hulks are massive, but I mean, like, this picture, this is not where a Valkyrie's going. This is not where, well, shit, I mean, like, a Sentinel might fit there. An old Sentinel, not a new one. I can't imagine this space is enough for a Sentinel. The new ones to walk through that giant ass base. Like, I don't know. I don't get it why they're calling this 40k and pushing for this kind of game in 40k. But again, GW. And then Kill Team, where they again are using this terrain, and it makes total fucking sense because you're playing a small group of elite soldiers versus a small group of elite soldiers running around the corridors of a Space Hulk. Absolutely makes sense. Doesn't make sense? Makes sense. But now I guess it's just a case to basically, well, it's like I just said, getting the kill team players to buy 40k codexes. This is probably to get 40k players to buy kill team box sets to get more terrain. You buy this and you get X amount, but if you buy this one, you get some more. Oh, and the next one has some more, and they keep putting it out, and all they do is even put like one extra like doorway. People are going to buy this just to get the different terrain to go with the terrain they already bought. And the last thing they show off is a teaser for something. It is probably Dark Mechanicum. We don't know, but like, that's probably what it is. I mean, we don't know, but again, probably what it is. So yeah, that is the video for today. It is just going over, like, again, what I saw, what I thought about it, what I liked, what I didn't like. I'm still confused how this is about 35th anniversary. I'm also confused that it's called Warhammer Day and not Warhammer 40k Day, because there was no Warhammer, there was Warhammer 40k. There was no Age of Sigmar, there was no Cursed City, there was no Fantasy, it was just 40k. This was a 40k day. And if you have any thoughts or comments on my thoughts of this video, if you want to add something of your own about what you saw today and what you felt about it, throw that down in the comments. You can join the Discord. I'll put a link in the description how to get to that. And thanks very much for watching, and have a great day.